Okay.
All right, we're good for Derek Shelton. Questions for Derek?
Progress.
Shelty, did you notice anything with Mitch that might have led to the lack of consistent execution?
No, I mean, as we've talked a lot about this year, it comes down to fastball command. And today there was, again, a lack of fastball command. And when you don't do that, it's hard to get everything else working.
Jody, I know you've also talked this year about wanting to have these opportunities at the major league level. Does it come to a point where maybe you want to send him down to work on some of the things? Has that been discussed at all?
No, I mean, I think we need to continue to work on what we're working on here, and that would be a decision that we would talk about. But it's more fastball command stuff. So we have to isolate on why and then how it needs to transfer into games.
Derek, are you noticing a common thread that's causing the lack of command of the fastball? Not just the fact that the lack of fastball command is leading to general inconsistency, but that actual problem. Do you notice a common thread from start to start?
No, and I think that's the thing that's a little bit frustrating for us is trying to find that common thread.
Shelty, has Mitch in the bullpen been anything that has been discussed? I know Jeff asked about Mitch going down.
No, we have not discussed that at all.
Derek, more of a team-wide level, just overall, how'd you feel your guys played day to day against the Dodgers in these 3 games? And, the quality that you put out there against the World Series champions coming in for 3?
Yeah, we played well. I mean, we were in every game. Today's got shortened, but we made, a guy that's one of the best closers in the game, getting 2 games. The first night, it was a 5-0 game. We made it 5-3. Jansen had to come in the game. Last night we had an opportunity with the guy on base to tie it. I thought we competed well. We played hard. In situations like this, we have to play almost perfect. And, yesterday we hit some balls right in the nose that didn't fall. We need those balls to fall for us to win these games.
I guess to that point where you just talked about playing nearly perfect, is this a good primer for where you guys are going now in 4 of your next 5 series against, I think, 4 of those next 5 against teams that are either in contention or at least above 500?
Yeah, it's great for our guys. I mean, I think we talked about this coming into the series. It's great for our group to play in games like this and to play tightly contested games. And I think you saw us have really good at-bats. I mean, the first night we hit a bunch of balls hard. Last night we didn't get a ball to fall. Our bullpen pitched really well. Tyler Anderson went through about as tough a right-handed lineup as you'll find in baseball. So, yeah, I would agree with you, Tim. It's important for us.
Chucky, another homer for Brian Reynolds tonight. He's becoming like top 20 in not just like home runs and things, also walk rate, his average, his doubles. Is he becoming like one of the premier pure hitters? We saw it in the minors, and when he was at Vanderbilt, he was hitting 300, it seemed like, every time. Do you kind of sense that from his game?
Yeah, I definitely sense that. I think, you want to talk about taking steps. He's taken a step. He had a really good rookie year. Last year was an outlier year, but this kid can hit, and he's going to hit for a long time at the major league level. And as we've talked about before, some of the balls he hits end up going out. I think he's going to hit a bunch of doubles, and that number could fluctuate. But he's in a nice stretch right now, and I think you're seeing a guy that's going to be a really good hitter for a long time in the big leagues.
Derek, what was your view of the Key Bryant catch down the line there? And when you're managing a guy that young and that good, like, is there a moment where you sort of hold your breath when he gets near a wall or a person or something like that?
Yeah, I was definitely holding my breath on that one. In my view of it is I had a really good view of it, and I didn't think he had a chance to catch it. And then he stuck his glove out, and I was like, oh, my God. Like, this kid does stuff defensively that surprises me on a nightly basis. And some of it, he makes it look so routine that to the average fan or to the average person, they're like, oh, that's a good play. When it's like, no, that's a great play. And tonight, that was one of them. He went a long way, and he made an unbelievable catch.
Schulte, obviously, you'd be less pleased about it, but was Mookie's play throwing home also a play like that where he nabbed Gonzalez at the plate?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the American League East for a long time and got to see Mookie Betts. And there's not a lot of things that he does on the baseball field that doesn't surprise me. And I would be very hard-pressed to say that he's not one of the 2 best players in the game. There's nothing this guy can't do. He defends, he throws, he hits for power, he runs the bases. So I got a firsthand look at him a lot being in the American League. This guy's unbelievable. And to make that catch and then make that throw, I mean, we were online with that throw. And most outfielders that make throws, it has a little bit of sink, a little bit of cut. That was straight four-seamer. I mean, that was an unbelievable play.
Shelby, how do you think Mitch has handled the frustration of the inconsistent starts, the short starts? How do you think he's handled that kind of personally?
I think he's handled it well. I mean, obviously he's frustrated because of the fact that he's looking for consistency, and it's just part of the maturation process for him.
Shelton, we wanted Moran in the dugout. Was he available?
I'm not sure who was speaking there. Alex Stumpf.
We spotted Moran in the dugout. Was he available today, or were there any limitations with him?
He was not available today.
Have you gotten any results back or anything that you can update us on with that?
Yeah, I mean, we're still day to day on it, and just it's kind of going to be to pain tolerance.
But any X-ray like results like negative? Or
I mean, everything's fine in that regard.
Shelty, you had Phil Evans starting in right field after he played left field. I know that you've said he's going to bounce around. He's a guy who's played a lot of different positions. Is there a certain comfort level you have him with one position over the other in terms of the outfield in particular?
No, I feel very comfortable with him, at both corners in the outfield, at first, at third. So his ability to bounce around, but feel comfortable with him in all four spots.
Is he your emergency catcher?
I would say yes.
Derek, we've asked about Mitch in the bullpen, Mitch in the minors, but just sort of micro here. Today, I know you guys get forecasts and stuff. I know it was a hot day. His last start was ended early because of heat illness. Was there any thought because of the weather or just being a day game to throwing him this weekend in maybe an indoor environment in Milwaukee instead of today?
No, there was no thought of that whatsoever. He was scheduled to make the start today, and we just stayed on plan with it.
Shelty, do you envision keeping Cahill in the bullpen moving forward?
I'm sorry, I coughed when you Cahill in the bullpen.
Yeah, is that something that we're going to see? I know he's warming up out there.
Yeah, I would say in the immediate future he will be in the bullpen. To say that he won't start again at some point, I definitely won't rule that out. But for the immediate future, he'll be in the bullpen.
And was the Oviedo thing something that cropped up in his last outing or between outings, or what was that?
Yeah, it was in his last outing, and then we knew about it. We tried to give it a couple days to resolve itself, and it just didn't seem like it was going to. So we ended up making the move. I mean, there's no sense with a kid of his age taking any chance with something like that.
Derek, I might have missed it, but what is the injury with Oviedo?
Left quad.
Shelty, I know you didn't really get to work with him maybe a little bit in the spring, but what was your reaction to finding out about the news about Jose Soriano?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a younger player that goes through injuries, it's frustrating and you feel for the kid. So we just need to get him, healthy and back on the field.
All good for Derek? Thank you.
Guys.
All right, everybody. Mitch Keller is here. Questions for Mitch?
Hey, Mitch. Just talking to Derek, he's mentioned that some of these starts where you've struggled from start to start, the sort of underlying theme is fastball command just not being there. So from start to start, have you noticed a common thread in what's causing that lack of fastball command?
No, not really. I mean, if I did, I probably would have cleaned it up by now.
Mitch, in terms of you've spoken to us before about, obviously it's frustrating trying to figure that out. I guess how are you sort of trying to deal with those frustrations? Like, is it just stay in the work and keep going, or I guess how are you trying to stay focused and stay positive while this is all going on?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow's a new day. I just gotta take a step back and just look at the outing and see what I can go forward with, and look at the positives, and then look at what I need to get better at, and then keep going from there. Just work on that in my next side and do everything I can to get ready for the next start.
Mitch, that tomorrow's a new day approach that you just talked about right there, does that go for the team at large as well, in the sense that, you know, you played the Dodgers fairly tight here for 3 games. You got 4 or 5 series coming up against really good teams. You kind of have to have that whole approach team wide too here as you go into the next swath of games here to go through June.
Yeah, exactly. I thought we played pretty well here against the Dodgers. I mean, I didn't really help us out very much, but our bullpen was unreal again. Guys were hitting. I mean, I think we're taking some good momentum, even though we did lose the last 2 in a row there. I think we're taking some good momentum into Milwaukee.
Mitch, we didn't get to talk to you after your last start sort of ended early. Could you just take us through what's gone on the last week? And Derek did mention that you had been able to throw the last couple of days, but did you have to stay away from the ballpark for a couple of days, or what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I had to go through COVID testing, and so I wasn't allowed to come back for 2 or 3 days just because I was still having symptoms. So I just wasn't able to come back. So.
And were you feeling it in that last start last week? Like I said, we don't really know much about what happened last week.
Oh, my last start. Yeah, I mean, just in the second inning, I just wasn't feeling good at all. Just lightheaded and stuff. So just Shelty took me out.
Mitch, is it a matter where you guys feel like you have the plan, it's just a matter of executing that, or you're still looking at different ways to work on a plan?
No, I think we have a good plan. It's just me going out and executing. I mean, if I had 2 batters 0-2 in the 3rd inning there, if I don't hit them, I think it's a whole different game. I mean, just executing pitches is what it boils down to. Executing and getting ahead. And when I do that, I'm pretty good. And when I don't, stuff like that happens today.
Mitch, the Pirates keep sending you back out there for starts, regardless of whether you're struggling or not. You've watched some other guys go through some struggles with the Pirates. How much has it meant to you that they've shown that faith in you, that they're standing by you, and that they've not discussed, I guess, sending you to AAA and having you go work through it there?
I mean, it's good, I guess, to know that they have faith in me. And I mean, every conversation that we have is really good, and that we're making strides forward. It's just going through it right now and just trying to get out of it.
Are you discussing with anybody, like any former teammates?
I mean, I keep up with former teammates, but not just, we just bounce ideas back and forth. Nothing too major.
Hey, Mitch, it's easy to look at your stat line and just kind of chalk it up to, I don't know, good and bad starts alternating up and down. For you, though, as you look a little more granularly, are the issues you're seeing today the same ones you were seeing, first week of the season? Or I guess take us into that, like your focus. Is it in the same place it was then, or are you seeing some strides forward and then some other areas maybe that need attention that you weren't thinking about week 1?
Yeah, like week 1, I was struggling there too after spring training, but I feel like I'm in a lot better spot mentally and in my delivery. Now it's just a matter of executing and getting ahead.
But you mentioned the little things. You think maybe if you get over to and covered first and you're able to make that play, that might have led to a different outcome as well.
On what play?
On that play where you're a little late getting over?
I wasn't late on any of them. I was there. I mean, it's Gavin Lux. He's a pretty fast runner.
Right.
I've already gone back and rewatched it, and I left right when the ball was hit.
That was more just his speed.
Yeah.
All right. All good for Mitch?
Can I ask one more?
Sure.
Yeah, thanks. Mitch, I think part of what we're trying to read at this point is like the pissed off factor. And I know you don't often talk about that element of it, but to deal with, a couple months of this built on building after a really good year last year. Like frustration wise, do you feel pissed off, or is that just not like is not really a helpful thing for you to feel?
I mean, probably the most pissed off guy in this locker room.
All right, there you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
David Bednar, any questions for David?
Hey, David. Obviously 2 days in a row, pitching. Derek clearly trusts you, and Sam and Clay. You guys are pitching almost every other day. What's it mean to you to sort of have that trust from the manager and just appear in this many games at this point of the season?
It's awesome. Whenever you're out there more and more, it kind of gives you more confidence and kind of helps you build off of that and, earn the trust of your coaches and then also your teammates to get the job done.
On the way into the ballpark, I'm pretty sure I saw a bunch of Mars Little Leaguers. I'm not from the area. I don't. Okay, based on your smile, I'm assuming that's your Mars.
Yes.
Did you see that group? Yeah.
Yeah, they all came by the bullpen. I think they said they were, fourth, fifth graders, and then there's a few second graders in there. But yeah, they were having a good time at the ballpark for sure.
Davis, can you take us through the mentality you come in that situation with little margin for error? Do you have to think about anything differently, or do you try to keep it exactly the same?
I think just keep it exactly the same. Just go out, compete, and fill up the zone. Just be aggressive in the zone, and put the pressure on them almost. We just go and compete in the zone. Good things happen.
David, what's it like to watch a guy like Mitch, who you've seen what kind of stuff he has? What's it like to watch him struggle and kind of know that there's not much anybody can do for him, and he's kind of got to figure it out on his own? What's it like as a pitcher to watch that?
The stuff's there for sure. He's had some success this year, but hopefully, he'll just get it rolling, and we'll roll with it. But yeah, I mean, his stuff is electric, so whenever he's out there, it's it could be fun to watch.
David, where do you think the team's head is coming out of this series? I mean, you played the Dodgers pretty well in 3 games, but you lost all 3. So, like, where are you in terms of it's not win or lose, it's how you play the game and the results-based business of baseball here? Like, how do you sort of internalize that? Because you got a bunch of games, a bunch of series coming up against pretty good teams over the next 3 weeks as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously we'd like to come out on top, but I mean, everybody came to the ballpark, wanted to win, fully ready to compete, and we played it hard, and we were in every game. So definitely frustrating to be on the losing end, but everybody's still coming out here to compete, and we're trying to win every single day.
Anything else for David? Oh,
Yeah,
Jared. Good.
Yeah, just last one. I know there's a finite number of people in Mars, and I'm sure the entire city is going to come say hi to you at the park at some point. But have you noticed with more fan interaction that there are other Pittsburghers just trying to get your attention specifically to talk to you about, hey, I know this guy from where and whatever, something like that, just, being a local guy. Now, again, that you can actually interact with fans a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool. It's awesome to have everybody back at the ballpark, and it seems like everybody has a connection in some way. So it's always cool to they'll come by the bullpen, say what's up, and I mean, can't say enough about the Pittsburgh crowd. Love the people here. It's awesome.
All right, all good, guys. Okay.